This is the best kale chip recipe for junk food addicts, recovering junk food addicts, potato chip lovers, tortilla chip lovers. You are going to love these kale chips so much you won't mind letting go of the other. This is a transitional recipe for people that are moving more towards raw or, more vegetable-based, raw vegetable, vegan type diet. Here's my bowl of kale. I just cleaned it and picked it from the garden yesterday. I've got about 5 different types in there. Curly kale, premier kale, red Russian kale, and a couple others I can't remember the names. Nice and clean. Picked all the stems off. Broke them into small pieces. Oh, I also have some cabbage leaves in there. Red cabbage leaves and some cauliflower leaves. That's a premier kale there. That actually needs cut up a little bit. But they're in pretty good bite-sized pieces. Nice and clean. Okay, that's ready. No stems. Remember, we removed the stems if you look at my other videos on preparing your kale. And we juiced the stems. Tons of good nutrition you don't want to waste. All right, so here are the ingredients. Now, as you know with my recipes, none of them are carved in stone. And I know some of you left-brain analytical people want that. But I want you to get free in the kitchen. I want you to get creative in the kitchen. That's what today is all about. But this is a core recipe that we use for the kale chips. You can add lots of different things to them. But this is my favorite base core chip recipe. Okay, first off, for your salty taste, you're going to have a couple tablespoons of soy sauce or namashoyu. This is a gluten-free, unpasteurized soy sauce. Either one is fine. Nutritional yeast, you can find at your health food store. That's 3 heaping tablespoons. That makes it taste kind of cheesy, nutty. Very popular. There you can see, you can just buy it in the bins like that. I have raw cashew pieces. Not roasted cashews. This is a raw recipe, 100% raw vegan. But don't let that turn you off if you're fairly new to kale chips, okay? Now, you can buy whole pieces of cashew, but it's about twice as much money as getting pieces. You can save about half the money, at least in our store, by getting cashew pieces. Now, I'm going to get a little sciencey on you. You want to soak your raw cashews first. Why would you want to do that? That's right there, by the way, 2 cups. Little bit heaping cups of raw cashew pieces. The cashews on their own have an enzyme inhibitor. What does that mean? All your foods have enzymes in them, and your body creates enzymes to break down and digest the food. These have enzyme inhibitors, one's called phytic acid. And you don't want that in your cashews because when it gets down into your belly, that phytic acid competes for all the minerals and some other nutrients and stops them from being digested in your body. So for full health and absorption of all the nutrients in your nuts, all nuts, when they're raw, you want to soak them from at least an hour or 2 up to overnight. I have soaked these about 3 hours today. And I soak them in purified water. Then I rinse them. You don't want to use the soak water. I rinse them twice and poured the soak water out. Okay? So that's our 2 plus cups. Then we have lemon juice, the juice of 1 lemon. I don't know, a couple tablespoons looks like. And you're going to, I have salt there, some Himalayan salt right there in the crusher, and you may or may not want that depending on how salty you want them with the soy sauce. They're 2 completely different flavors. And then lastly, and here's one of the secret ingredients, is fresh squeezed orange juice. That right there is the juice of 3 oranges. Depending on how much you need, you may only need about 2 oranges. And we're going to do it live right now. We're going to put it in the Vitamix, or if you have a blender, any type of blender, but the Vitamix is the best. We'll see how creamy it is. Then we pour the sauce on the kale, stir it up, smash it up, and then we put the kale on the dehydrator sheets. Okay? When we get there, I'm going to have some more tips on how you do that, what some specific things to do and not do on your dehydrator sheets. Okay, so let's go to work. If you don't have a dehydrator, that's fine. You can put them in your oven. You will lose some of the nutrient content by putting them in your oven, but it's still going to be super healthy for you. Okay, there are the nuts first. Here goes the juice of the whole lemon. And you think, why lemon and orange? You want that tartness and sweetness. So we're hitting all the flavor palettes. We're hitting the saltiness with the soy sauce and the Himalayan sea salt, the fat from the cashew, the saltiness in the yeast, and the sweet in the orange juice. It's a fantastic combination. Okay, so here we go. Orange juice. I'm putting 2/3 of it in, and I can tell just by looking at that, I do add some water. That was maybe 3 tablespoons. Okay. Here we go. Make sure all your knobs are turned down. And let's get a sauce. Okay, and I'm going to taste it and see how I like it. It's a little thin. Actually, it's not. Plenty of orange juice. Last time I made it with 3 cups and 3 oranges. Oh, I know what's missing. My nutritional yeast. See if I've got all my ingredients. You try and video and make a recipe. I know. I'll get better at it. Here we go. Okay, I had it left on high. Oops. Okay, another taste with the yeast. That's what I'm talking about. Need some salt. Get my salt shaker here. I love this salt shaker. Okay, let me turn it down this time. Mix that in there. Final taste. Very good. Okay, so now we go over and we pour. I'm not going to pour the whole thing on because I'm going to mash it around a little bit. And you want to play in your food. Yeah, oh, my battery's going. So you want to really crush it down and mash it down, breaking down some of the cell walls of the kale because it can be kind of, you know, crunchy. Some of my leaves are thicker than others. And you can put on as much as you want. You may not want to, and I didn't put a measurement on how big. It was just a big bowl of kale. You can have it as saucy or not saucy as you want. I mean, some people make kale chips with like a little bit of spritz of olive oil and salt. Now, those are some boring chips. I'm sorry, they just are. These are dynamic, lovely chips. Here, let's pour some more. So I've got it. Not going to use the whole thing. Really squeezing it, really breaking it down because it makes a more delicate, tender kale chip. And you should see the purple in there. Those are my cabbage leaves. And I've also got cauliflower leaves in there. Those are some of my secrets. We don't waste any leaves in the garden. They're all jam-packed with nutrition. Okay, this looks really good. You see the sauciness of it? You could add more or less. I used that much from there down. So then we put them on the sheet. Now, when you get your... We have the Sedona dehydrator, which is, in my opinion, the absolute best in the market. I'll do another video on why that is such a phenomenal dehydrator. It's all computerized. The other ones are kind of old-fashioned, like horse and buggy. You don't get these Teflex sheets with it. You just get that sheet. And you don't want to put the kale chips on this because they will stick. So we just ordered these Teflex sheets. They're washable. And that way the chips don't stick. So you just spread it out in a single layer. And I'm not going to keep you on much longer, but you get the idea. Kind of open up the leaves that are, you know, folded over. And then just, see, there's some that I missed the sauce because I'm on the video, but I'll go back and re-sauce them. But that's pretty good. So you fill this sheet up. This bowl will make about, I would say 3 or 4 dehydrator sheets. And I've got a whole bunch more. I've got 2, 3 big containers of kale. So this is just a beginning. But then I'll put them in here. Now, again, if you don't have a dehydrator, you can put them in the oven. Just put them on a cookie sheet at the lowest temperature, understanding you will be losing some nutrition because raw food always has higher nutrition. The dehydrator is oh, what is it, below 114 or 118 degrees. And your oven, I think, is 250. So you will be killing some nutrients, but still, you're going to be getting a lot of them. So you put this in the dehydrator for 2 or 3 days. And after the first day or so, these will get all crunchy on top. Then I'll flip the whole sheet, the Teflex sheet. They'll be stuck to the sheet. I'll flip the whole sheet over, and then the chips will just be right on the plastic sheet that came with the Sedona. So, and then I give them another couple days, and then they're nice and crunchy, salty, sweet, fat tasting. You got that whole balance of flavors. Still all raw food, very high nutrition. Much higher nutrition than the junk food that you have been eating or the processed food that you've been struggling, that we all struggle with letting go of. So that is my kale chip recipe. I hope you love it. Please go down in the comment section and let me know what you think of it. What would you add to yours? What are some things that you love in yours? And as always, if you like this video, share it with your friends. Give us a thumbs up. That helps us get our videos out to a lot more people. And subscribe to the channel. So this is Cheryl signing off. Please let me know what you think of this recipe. I'm dying to know if you liked it. Okay, now I don't know how I'm going to turn off my video because I got one hand covered with sauce. So let me jiggle a little bit and say goodbye. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.